Distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio GCON, President of the Senate, Distinguished Senate President, request for the approval of the National Assembly for a borrowing program to fund the 2025 budget deficit. I write to kindly request for the approval of the National Assembly to establish a 1,150 billion naira, that is 1.150 trillion, borrowing program in the domestic debt market to close the unfunded deficit gap created by the increase in the budget size over and above the prior approved revenue and borrowing plans. This request is pursuant to the provisions of Section 44, subsection 1 to 2 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, FRA, of 2007, which requires the approval of the National Assembly for all new borrowings by the federal government of Nigeria. The distinguished President of the Senate may wish to note that National Assembly passed a budget of 59.9 trillion, an increase of 5.25 trillion from the 49.74 trillion budgeted budget proposal by the executive. This increase created a budget deficit of 14 trillion. However, the proposed borrowing approved in the budget was 12.95 trillion, which occasioned an unfunded deficit of 1.1 trillion. It is therefore necessary to increase the domestic borrowing limit in the 2025 budget by 1.147 trillion to close this gap. Based on the foregoing, I wish to request for the approval of the Senate for the establishment of a 1,150 billion naira borrowing program in the domestic debt market to close the unfunded 2025 budget deficit gap. A specimen of the approval required for this purpose is attached as Annexure 2. While I look forward to the timely approval of the Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President, distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest consideration and personal regards. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is referred to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to revert to the Senate in 1 week. Leader of the Senate.